Manager's Report. I'm your host, Jill Fraley-Dotson. Philip Elswick joins me, as always, to talk about the wonderful things going on in and around the city of Pikeville and update us on projects that are happening. Hey, Philip, good day.
Hi, Jill.
We have a lot to get to.
We do.
As always. A lot of people around town have been asking about what is going in at 773 Hamley Boulevard. So you are here to finally tell us what that is.
Yeah, we went through an extensive process reviewing proposals, and a committee selected Soul Good Bakery for that space. And it's owned by Michael and Jessica Phillips, and Michael's the band director at UPike. And it's going to be a bakery and coffee shop. They had a lot of great ideas in their proposal, and a lot of ways that they will be expanding their bakery in the future. So, we're looking forward to that being open, and it should be open before Thanksgiving.
We are hoping to have it open before Thanksgiving, and one of the things that they really stressed in their conversation with the city was they want to create a sense of community and a place for people to come to and to have gatherings and things of that nature. And they are really excited about getting the doors open for the public. And like you said, hopefully right before Thanksgiving they'll be open and be the newest business in the downtown area. A lot of projects going on that we constantly talk about, and one of those is the Kentucky Enterprise Industrial Park access road, the new access road that is right now being built.
Yep, it's still under construction. BZAC is the contractor, and all the right-of-ways has been acquired now. So there's no issues with construction of the road. All the vegetation's been removed, and now they're actually working on the road itself. So we're moving toward completion, and about another year that road will be complete and open.
And let's talk a little bit about why there was such a need for another road into the industrial park.
Right. The first road that we had it was a coal haul road that the mining companies used when they mined that site, and it was very circuitous and at a very steep grade. So this road will be flatter. I mean, it'll still be at a grade because it's climbing to the top of the hill, but it'll be straighter, not nearly as curvy, and just a lot better for trucks as they navigate that area. And it's always good to have a secondary access. So now we have two roads going to the park and away from the park. So that's, those are all benefits.
Yeah, it'd be, like you said, should be about a year before that's completed, but certainly excited to see that project complete. Another project that a lot of people talk about, and we're really seeing it take shape now, is the Overlook Event Center that will be at the top of Bob Amos Park.
Right, you can see that from US 23 now as you drive through there, and we get a lot of questions about what it is, and it's moving along rather quickly. It's interior and exterior walls are up now. The timber package for the exposed timber that'll be in the building is installed, and the plumbing is being installed in the building now. So we're really moving toward completion of that building, and hopefully it'll go quickly. Should be done by the end of the year.
By the end of the year, and we're starting to take bookings for that space, and we'll talk a little bit about how you can do that coming up in a few moments. But as we go through downtown right now, we're seeing a lot of milling work happening and blacktop being laid down. I know that Caroline Avenue is a project that is underway and should be completed very soon, but there's going to be some other blacktop projects that are going to be going on in and around the outskirts of town that people need to be aware of.
Right. As far as the downtown area, as soon as Caroline's completed, which should be in a few days, then Main Street will be milled. And it will be the entirety of Main Street from Huffman Avenue all the way to Scott Avenue. So, there will be times that road is closed for various reasons. There will be rough road there between the time it's milled and the time it's repaved. So it'll be somewhat inconvenient for a little while, but the end result will certainly make that inconvenience worth it.
It will, and the good thing is that our downtown streets do handle a lot of traffic, and that means a lot of visitors and a lot of activity in our downtown area. This is just something that has to happen, and it can be a little bit of an inconvenience at times, but certainly not a very long inconvenience.
No, not at all.
And certainly for the betterment of our downtown area. Speaking of people being in town, in the recent days, we have had a very large group of people come to town. Over 1,200 people come to town for SOAR, for the SOAR conference, and that was heavily attended and well received.
Yeah, this is several years that the SOAR Summit's been in Pikeville, and as always, the governor and the congressman was here, so Governor Bevin and Congressman Rogers were in town for that, as well as about 1,000 other people. The keynote address was given by Dan Rooney, Major Dan Rooney from the Air Force National Guard, and he's also the founder of Folds of Honor, which is an organization that provides scholarships to family of fallen soldiers and helps to support them. And his speech was excellent. It received standing ovation multiple times. But also as part of that event, the governor and the congressman announced over $34 million of grant funds, abandoned mine land grant funds, that are being spread across the region. But one of those certainly is in the city of Pikeville, and it's a $4.7 million grant for Pikeville Medical Center.
Pikeville Medical Center looking to construct a new children's hospital, something that is very near and dear to Donovan's heart.
Absolutely.
And certainly the people of our community who utilize the hospital and their doctors there for children's services. And this really will keep so many people closer to home and not to have to travel with their children if they have to have an extended stay at the children's hospital. So certainly a wonderful addition to the campus at Pikeville Medical Center, but certainly for downtown and the people in our region that have children that use children's hospitals.
You know, now families are having to take their children to Lexington or Cincinnati Children's Hospital, and that's burdensome on them. So it'll be a much needed addition to our region when PMC can provide those services here at home.
Yeah, a lot of excitement around that project, and certainly people were pleased that they were awarded that very large grant. So excited to see that start to take shape. As we get into the fall season, we always talk about a lot of tourism and different events that go on. And recently, one of the most interesting events, I guess is what you could call it, that happens on our river trail is the duck float, and that was on September 7th.
It was, and that was in partnership with the University of Pikeville, their admissions office, but it was also open to the public, so it wasn't restricted just to students. But the group started at the Holiday Inn Express and floated down to the Texas Roadhouse, and I understand that's about a 2-hour float. You know, in partnership with the University of Pikeville, that's a great way for either their freshmen or even returning students to be introduced to the city and kind of get acclimated back into the school year. I believe this was the 3rd annual duck float, and as always, the city provided food, beverages, and prizes.
I think one of the things as we watch the video that is so appealing to me is if you have small children, our river for the last few weeks, because we've had such a lack of rain, has been really, really low. It makes it slower, but it also makes the depth obviously less. So, you know, you have kids on there that if they're new to kayaking or new to floating, that, you know, you can get the smaller kids out there to introduce them to an activity that may be totally different than what their families are used to. So it's a great family event, and like you said, obviously introduces people that are at the university that may have not ever been on our river trail system before to really see some of the outdoor activities that we have in our area. And of course, we can't fail to mention that is still going on.
Right,
and
absolutely.
That you can go to the Hatfield-McCoy River Trails, the top of Bob Avis. Muddy Boots does a fantastic job with making sure you can get on the river that way.
Yeah, I believe Jimmy Taylor is going to lead the duck float next year.
Oh, perfect.
Yes.
That would be
wonderful. You heard it here first.
You heard it here first. That will be something that will draw hundreds of people in, no doubt.
Absolutely.
But certainly if you have an idea, if you've never been on the river and you really want to see the beauty of our area in a way that you cannot even imagine, go get a kayak, take a trip, take a float, short float, long float, whichever you want to do, and they will really show you what we have to offer here.
It is a totally different perspective of the area, and the river's beautiful, and the surrounding scenery is as well.
And it's getting to the time of year too where the foliage will start to change, and it's a wonderful way to see what our region has to offer, and certainly the city of Pikeville. We are so excited to welcome a new business to downtown as part of our Downtown and Business Incentive Program, and that is Bridget's Quilting. She just recently had her ribbon cutting and was heavily attended, and just a great shop to visit in our downtown area.
I believe that was the 4th recipient of our Downtown Business Incentives. So, you know, that's a program we established, I think, early this year, and it's been tremendously successful in recruiting businesses to the downtown area. This is a business that is much different than anything else we have in the downtown area, but you know, we're excited for that, and we're excited to see how she will grow that shop and to see her business flourish.
One of the things I think that is so interesting about Bridget, and we do want to welcome she and her husband Andy to our downtown area. she has so many unique things that you can take part in. If you're new to sewing, or if you are, if you have a long history and you really are skilled in that area, she has something for everyone, and it's something that you can take your children into as well. Like I'm looking forward to taking my little girl.
Sure.
We're going to do some pillowcase aprons and maybe some table runners and things like that she can give as gifts. But one of the things about Bridget's that I love is that we have so many tourists that come to our area, and they really want to take a piece of Pikeville home with them. And so why not, if you're here, or if you have lived here before and you're just back visiting, go into Bridget's, sit down at one of her sit and sews, as she calls it, and make something and take a little bit of piece of Pikeville home with you, because it really is a lost art. Appalachian quilting is something that that a lot of people don't do anymore. So this is one way that you can learn an amazing craft.
Certainly part of our culture in Appalachia, and hopefully she can begin to renew that interest.
Yeah, she's a sweetheart, and I look forward myself, as I know a lot of other people do, to going in and taking advantage of her teaching so we can learn something different and maybe pass along to our children.
Sure.
Main Street, and you saw in the video there, a lot of people attended Bridget's ribbon cutting because the Main Street Fall Conference was in town for that event, and spent a lot of time in Pikeville on September 11th to really see what our downtown is all about, and we loved having them here.
I think anytime you have a conference like that in your town, it's really a testament to the work you're doing. So Minta Trimble, our Main Street director, deserves a lot of credit for the work she's done. She is very skilled at her job, and she's made downtown a beautiful place to be. As part of that conference, they saw a preview of Sally McCoy that opens at the app. And they, of course, attended the ribbon cutting, as you mentioned. And they talked about ghost lettering and microbreweries in downtown areas, and both of which we have. So that's a very timely discussion.
It is, and they were able to really sit with the gentleman, Jeremy, who from Brush Can, who is doing the ghost lettering in downtown. And if you're not familiar with what that is, it is a really unique process to bring back life to buildings that once were advertisements for businesses and for companies that located in the downtown area. You see there on the side of the building there, next to, and this is next to Art and Gift, but he was able to identify some of these buildings, and he will not make them look perfect. He will make them look as though they did at the time that they were put on the buildings.
Sure, it's a way of preserving history, and a way also of transmitting that history to future generations that would not know about those things if we didn't do projects like this. And historic preservation is one of the missions of Main Street. So this is another project that will really add to our downtown area. And you saw in the video the wholesale grocer sign there. Interestingly, that business was owned by a former mayor, KJ Day, who was also very much instrumental in the creation of the Breaks Park. So just a little bit of trivia.
Well, and as you start to dig into these buildings, it really is a renewed sense of history and a great lesson for not only adults to be mindful of what once was, but to help our kids understand about their history and their heritage. And this is going to be a really just interesting way to revitalize our downtown area. And he was delightful and extremely talented. And I have to say too that they're all hand painted.
Right.
So if you see him on a scissor lift around town, some man scaling the side of a building, don't panic, because that's what he's doing.
It's not graffiti.
It's not graffiti. It is. He is intended to be there. So we're really excited to see what he creates on the buildings. Also, we recently had the dedication of a mural that was painted during Hillbilly Days.
Yeah, while we talk about the history of Pikeville, this is another interesting piece of that. John Paul Riddle was an aviation pioneer, really in the nation, and he founded the Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University, which is the only accredited aviation-oriented university in the world. He also flew an airplane under the Middle Bridge, for those of you that remember the Middle Bridge, which is quite a feat. And then during World War II, his school trained many, many pilots for both the United States and Great Britain. So there's quite a bit of history associated with Mr. Riddle, and we were very pleased to be able to have that mural prepared. And now it's at the airport, which is the most fitting place for him to be memorialized in Pikeville.
It really is, and he. If you did not get to see RC, who is the artist that literally uses like a spray paint,
It's
what
amazing.
it looks like for him to create those murals, is just remarkable. But again, a testament to our history and our heritage here, something that will be there for years to come. So
Right.
we're really appreciative for them making the trek from Florida
Right.
and sharing a lot of history with about Mr. Riddle when we had that unveiling. We're always busy. We
Always.
say that. There's
Yep.
always something going on, and we really want to stress events that are happening at the venues downtown. The arena, the app, our Main Street program. Tourism always has something going on. Andy Linton and Jimmy always have
Always.
an activity for you to take part in. So let's go through and highlight some of those events that we have coming up, particularly at the Appalachian Wireless Arena. They have a whole slew of things that you
Absolutely.
need to mark your calendar for.
Well, as always, we have Main Street Live that continues through the end of October on the first and third Fridays, which is growing in popularity, and it's kind of amazing, really, the number of people that come to that. But it's it's really enjoyable. But on September 30th, we have a night with Janis Joplin tribute. Then in October, Black Label Society. October 5th is the, I think, third Hoptoberfest that's at the Expo Plaza, and that has grown every year as well. Newsboys follows on October 20th, the Charlie Daniels Band on the 26th, and then we get into November. So we'll talk about those on a later show.
November and December are going to be very busy
They will.
months in the
They
city of
will.
Pikeville, so just stay tuned for that. I do want to talk a little bit more as people prepare. You mentioned Nightmare on Main coming up, and that is something that is heavily attended. I have
It
never
is,
seen
yeah.
so many trick-or-treaters in my life.
It's incredible.
But it's one of those things that the city does and offers. And early on in the day, there is a safe trick or treat for some very special children,
Right.
so they get to participate. But even that night, you have so many businesses that come together that really want to make it a joyous event for so many of our people in our community.
I think we've averaged over 6,000 people
Yeah.
attending that event. It's really incredible, but it's great to be able to offer that as
It
well.
is, absolutely, and it'll be here before you know
It will, yeah.
The Appalachian Center for the Arts, one of my favorite places that we have downtown now, because it offers so many different plays and activities and events for people, but they are staying busy too. And Sally McCoy is going to be a play that you definitely need to see.
Yeah, of course, it's part of the Hatfield-McCoy feud heritage. I believe that was first performed at the Burger Theater in Abingdon. So we're very pleased to be able to offer that here in Pikeville. It's going to be from September 13th through October the 5th. And I certainly encourage you to go. The reviews of Million Dollar Quartet were outstanding. So Robin Irwin and her staff really have the app on the right path and achieving the mission that the commission set for them. So she's full of ideas and very energetic. So it's always interesting to see what's coming next.
It's really exposing our town and our region to a lot of different types of art.
It is.
That may have not been here before. So we're really excited for them. And you mentioned other events coming up. Daryl Scott is going to be there on September 22nd. And one of the things that Robin's really excited about is the murder mystery
Oh, yeah.
that she's helping to create, and that's October 19th.
It is, and I think what excites her about that is the audience participation.
Right.
So that'll be a lot of fun to see how that works out.
One of the shows that I'm looking forward to, just because obviously I'm a native of Johnson County, Loretta Lynn has been just always ingrained in my mind. But on October 25th, Conway and Loretta, the shows are coming, and this is Conway and Loretta's grandchildren
Right.
that are I guess impersonating in a way, I guess if you will, their grandparents. What a wonderful tribute to them.
Yeah, and Robin talks about how talented they are. You think it's them when they walk in the room. You think it's Loretta and Conway. So that's something that I think will draw a lot of interest in our region, as it, like you said, with Loretta Lynn being from Johnson County.
No doubt. And you can get your tickets now for all
Always.
of those events,
Yep.
certainly. Main Street, we talked earlier about Minta having the fall conference here for state directors of Main Street, and I had the opportunity to sit down with them and hear some of their ideas and their thoughts about what's going on in Pikeville. Bringing them here is a true testament to the work that our Main Street program does, and when you can have the state directors, when you can host them, you know you're doing something right.
Absolutely.
So one of the fall events for Main Street is wine and beer tasting, retail gating, and that's going to be on September 28th, and that's a really fun event.
It is a fun event, and that's actually an event that Main Street won an award for at the state conference last year. It's unique, I guess, to anywhere else in Kentucky, and it has grown. I think this is the third year we're doing this, and it grows every year. A lot of people are excited about that.
They are, and they have a lot of, all the businesses, the idea is that the businesses that are on in downtown bring their merchandise outside and basically have a tailgate for the visitors. So it's really like a street festival. And then there's going to be some food trucks involved. You'll be able to do some wine tasting and all of that sort of thing. So really a fun event, and I encourage everyone to get out and at least take part in it. It will go on all day long. So it's going to be a lot of fun. And then another fundraiser that they are doing is the Dead Ball.
That's the first time we've done this.
This is the first time.
I'm interested to see how that works out. I don't really know what to expect. But
you don't have your costume picked
out
yet, right?
No. But that's the same day as Charlie Daniels Band at the Expo, or excuse me, the arena. So there's a lot going on in Pikeville that day. So, and there's not many weekends we don't have something going on. We strive to make the downtown very vibrant and draw people.
Yeah. One of the things that we talk about all the different events that we have, and it's hard to keep up if you don't have the Visit Pikeville app on your phone. And I would be in trouble if I didn't say, if you have a smartphone, go on there to your app store, Visit Pikeville. It's an app that has everything going on that we have downtown, and I use it so I can figure out what's going on and where I need to be and things of that nature. But it really is the best way to figure out, to mark your own personal calendar.
It is. I have to give kudos to Jimmy Taylor for that app. He spent a lot of time on that and worked on it very diligently. It's user friendly. It's a great way to stay informed.
It certainly is, and also our Facebook pages and Instagram, and you can always call City Hall. You can call Jimmy, you can call Andy, you can call the Economic Development Office, and it will certainly point you in the right direction.
We will.
And we also, as we do at the end of every show, want to invite everyone, if they have questions, concerns, good, bad, doesn't matter, you're invited to the commission meetings.
Absolutely. The second and fourth Mondays of every month at City Hall, 6 o'clock. You're always welcome, no matter what you're there for.
Yeah.
And, if there's a problem we can help you with, we certainly will.
Absolutely. We are out of time. As we go through a lot of stuff and a lot of information, but certainly great information, and wanting to make sure that everybody knows that we welcome our community and visitors to come to downtown, shop downtown area, shop the city of Pikeville on the outskirts and everything in between, and take advantage of some of our events and our wonderful activities that we're having, because there is always something to do.
Always.
Philip Felswick, always a pleasure.
Yep, thank you.
This has been the Pikeville City Manager's Report. Thank you so much for joining us.